Hello everyone, I'm Yuti Doshi from Mantra Mental Health. Welcome to episode 3 of Sunday Stories. Today we have a very special guest with us. He's a resilient person and a very strong person, I must say. His name is Tim, the Sackman. Over to you, Tim. Please tell us something about yourself.
Hey, thanks so much. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it. Um, so about me, just briefly, I've personally overcome depression with boxing training. And since I've found that, I've decided to make a dedication to train every single day to raise awareness that boxing training can have this effect in people's lives. And I made that dedication over 300 days ago, and I started consistently training every single day. And I turned that dedication into a training program for others. So now what I'm doing with my life is every single night at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time in the US, I put on a live training show where I help others overcome depression, anxiety, and stress and frustration in their day by training in martial arts for mental health. So it's kind of new. We're like slowly growing. We're evolving the concept and the process, but it's helping a lot of people. It's helped myself already, and that's not the only thing I have going on. But I don't know how much time we have. What do you think?
We can definitely talk about that maybe in the end of the session, maybe.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds
So,
good.
yeah, this is something really unique that you're doing, Tim. And I really want to know what has inspired you to take up boxing to fight with your mental health issues.
So for me personally, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress-induced depression,
Okay.
and I had a lot of anger that was built up over years of suppressing that anger, about more than 30 years of just not being able to express anger in any healthy way. And the punching bag seemed like the healthiest option for me. So I went out and I got a punching bag and I started to train and learn. And I felt immediate benefits in my life. Um, it was really, really powerful. And it started to change other aspects of my life, not just, it was a healthy release for anger and frustration and stress, but not only that, it was changing my mind. It was changing the way that I handled the world around me,
Mm.
being able to release these things. And actually, it helped me to find my passion in life, which I never had passion for anything before.
Mm.
Um, so it's really like a gateway into a whole new world for me, a whole new mindset, newfound confidence and self-esteem, a self-validation, a self-worth. Um, and yeah, I chose boxing to try and stick to the question. I chose boxing because it looked like a good way to release anger. I didn't know beforehand how powerful it was going to be.
Wow, this sounds so amazing. I mean, if I had a sack, that's what you call, right? Sack.
Yeah, I call it a sack. It's also called a bag or a heavy bag, or there's a lot of different names for it. Try and I try to choose the most humorous name, so it would
Yeah.
be entertaining, you know.
Sometimes, we really feel like punching somebody. And how nice it would be if we always have a bag in front of us and we could just release everything.
Exactly, exactly. I think that sometimes when you get really angry, you wind up making a fist almost automatically, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe that's your body telling you it's time to punch something, right?
yeah. Of course. So, I want to know, Tim, how do you like? So, when people come to you, what is
hmm
the process like? How do you train them?
Okay, so we have, when I started this thing, I started just for me. And then as it grew, I started to invite people in. So I built this studio in my house, the one you see behind me. You'll see there's an aqua bag, there's a speed bag, there's a couple different bags in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was inviting people in off the street, cab drivers, people I meet out, sometimes in bars. I was inviting them into the house so that they could feel that therapeutic release of anger and frustration by hitting the physical bag. But because of COVID, we had to stop doing that because things got crazy. So we transitioned from a physical format into a virtual format, and that's where we have now the live classes. And in the live classes, not everybody has a studio or a bag. So I had to come up with a way that we could train people. When I say we, I mean it's just me out here. But I kind of think in a us mentality nowadays because I believe what I'm doing is about a much bigger picture. It's about us working together. So what we did was we transferred that process into shadow boxing. So shadow boxing is a very important part of boxing training, and it teaches us all kinds of different techniques we can then use on the bag. So I was trying to encourage people to train at home so when gyms open up again, they can hit that bag for themselves and feel that release. But as we grew and as followers started to come in and participate in the program, it started to expand into more than just shadow boxing training. So now we call it martial arts for mental health because we roll in other mental health tools. And part of the process is we start every single show with one piece of gratitude. So that helps put you into a positive mindset as we move into the lesson. And then we go through the movements. We'll practice one or two different movements in a session, and we'll drill through those movements in 3-minute rounds. Those are the same length of time that they train in Muay Thai for competition. They train in 3-minute segments, so they know they'll be able to endure that. So if someone wants to take this training into the ring, they're totally welcome. They'll be conditioned for it. And if they want to use it for just physical fitness, it's good for that. If they want to use it for mental health, it's good for that. And on top of that physical training, we start with a piece of gratitude, which is a mental health tool, but then we also use visualization. We envision a target in front of ourselves, and we use imprint. We imprint the word that we want to work on. So if it's depression or anxiety, stress, fear, frustration, anger, any of those things, we visualize it on our target. And then when we make contact, we're focusing on technique and we're focusing on putting our energy into that target in the mind. And we're associating that relief, that feeling, that direction with accomplishing a goal of knocking out whatever it is that we're dealing with for the day. So there's that part of it. And there's also breath work involved. We've worked in a little bit of the yogic breath of fire to activate the nervous system and redirect that nervous energy into crushing our goals, making progress every day. There's mindset tools involved. I recently got a certification as a mental toughness instructor from NASM, that's the National Academy on Sports Medicine. And now I'm using that training as well to implement into the program to make it as effective as possible. And it's constantly growing. So that's the main, our main avenue every single night at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But we also have 2 branches of talk series where we share mental health tools and another one where we break down stigma. And we also have a product line, which I'm wearing now, that helps raise awareness because it has a picture of a glove punching a bag. So it's showing that boxing training, and then the words beat depression. So it makes that association in the mind when people see it, helping raise awareness so that this can help. And then a portion of every sale that we make goes to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. So all of our products fund the fight against depression. So that's the shortest answer I can give you as to what I'm doing.
This is incredible, Tim. Really. I don't know so many people doing this, really. First of all, going through something, you are having first-hand experience with a mental illness, and then you have actually gone through it, and now you're using the same technique to help others. This is something really commendable. And yeah, so what are the benefits? Like, why boxing? How does boxing help with beating depression or any kind of health issue?
So it helps in a lot of ways. Even without all the other mental health tools, if we're talking about just boxing training specifically, I have a couple notes here. So off the bat, there's an instant benefit. It boosts your mood. Once you get in and you get that activated feeling and you start training, you start mastering techniques. And that mastery is something that bumps your mood up. It makes you feel happy to accomplish a goal.
Yes.
And then another instant benefit is it relieves the symptoms of mild to moderate depression and anxiety. And the way it does that is there's so many moving parts to these movements that we're going through, to these techniques that we're perfecting, that it takes your entire focus to train in this. And there's no room left in that focus for anything from the past, for anything in the future. You fully present and rooted in the now.
In the
And I
moment.
don't know if you looked into other, methods of therapy, by bringing you into the now and becoming conscious and grounded in the reality of I am fully alive, I'm aware of my life, I'm powerful, I'm capable. There's no room for anything else, and you're not affected. You're not affected by the past or the future. You're fully alive and fully capable in the moment. So it eliminates those symptoms, those ruminating thoughts and worries about stresses in the future or reliving the past. There's no room for that. So that's number 2. And then it's a healthy way to physically release stress, anger, frustration, panic, fear. That it's a physical release of that tension, and that makes a difference in the brain when you're releasing it in a physical way. That's number 3. And then number 4, it's fun. It's fun to train. It's fun to box. It's just an enjoyable routine. You get to be creative with it. Once you learn a couple of different techniques, you can actually mix them up your own way. You develop your own style, and you could change your training every single day. I've been doing it for 313 days, and I want to say I have never done the same thing in a row, like 2 days in a row. Never. It's always something different. It keeps you on your feet. You have fun with it, and you're creative, and it's enjoyable. So it's not something I dread, it's something I look forward to every day. And then number 5 is by turning it into a daily routine. That's what builds up the self-confidence, the self-esteem, and the self-validation. Because every single day you're accomplishing a goal that's building you up, and you're keeping track of it in a daily routine. So that track record is like a track record of success. It's a track record of progress, a track record of goal accomplishment, of beating depression, of moving forwards, of nothing stopping you. And the longer you build up that record, the more it builds up in the mind. And you get to take that confidence out into the real world and do whatever you want with it.
I think this is
What was
really
that?
important,
Yeah, that was point number 6. I got a couple more. You ready for them?
Yes.
All right. So point number 7 is it encourages positive social support. So when you're going through depression, a huge benefit is if you can have someone there to support you, have some sort of social support. I lost my social support circle going through the traumatic experience that I endured. So I had to do this on my own with just a bag. But by training, it attracted other people into my life that were also interested in training. And if you go to a boxing gym or somewhere where they have a bag and you start training, it has the same effect. Even if nobody else is in the gym, if you go to a training center or you go to a dojo, the coach is going to work with you in a positive way to help build you up. And the sport itself kind of encourages community, because everyone in it, whether you're a student or a teacher, we're all students and teachers. We all take turns. One person holds the pads and the other person punches, then you switch it over, the other person's holding the pads, and you're getting that constant support back and forth, upbuilding community. So it has that therapeutic effect of having that social support. And then point number 8 is it encourages a healthier lifestyle holistically. Now, I'm not perfect. I still have plenty of vices. There's still plenty of things I do that are not the best for my health. But by sticking to this every day, the more I become in shape, the better I feel about myself, the more I start to consider other areas of my life that could add to this feeling that I'm giving myself by taking care of myself. So I started to change my diet a little bit. I try to adjust my sleep patterns. They're still way off, but it makes you think about all those other areas where you can improve your life. And holistically, that can have a very powerful effect on your mental health. And then the last point I want to mention, and this one's really very scientific, is that with repeated training, it actually trains your brain to associate the somatic symptoms that you might get during a panic attack or an anxiety attack, like increased heart rate, sweating, that activated feeling, that nervous energy, that heavy breathing, the fast heart rate, and all of those things. I think there's one I'm missing in there, but all of those things, it trains your brain to associate them with progress and success. It trains your brain to associate all those feelings with accomplishment and self-improvement. So when you walk out into the world, cortisol pump, that's the one I missed. It trains your brain to handle the cortisol pump, that stress hormone, in a positive, healthy way. Every single day you train, when you get intense with it and that heart rate gets up, your body pumps that cortisol stress hormone. And then by training that brain daily, your body's like, this is what we do every day. This is success. This is what progress feels like. So when you walk out in the world and someone presents you with a stressful situation, or the world presents you with a stressful situation, you're cool, you're calm, you're collected, you're happy, you're fine, you're ready to take it head on because you've trained for this. So that's been probably the biggest benefit, is that training, because it's automatic. It's not something you have to think about. It's not something you have to believe in. It's just something you do. Yeah, it's just something you do, and then that's it. It's like it locks in there. And I'll tell you just briefly, when I first started training, I walked into my job and I demanded a raise because I started to value my time. And any of those roadblocks, those things that might put you off, like the confrontation or dealing with an authority figure or something like that, those things, they shift out of the way, and it becomes about, look, what am I worth? What is my time worth? You know, and the older I get, the less time I have, so the more valuable that time is, right? So you go in and you demand your worth, and it worked for me, and then it worked for my roommate. My roommate was training with me, and around day 40, he walked in, demanded a raise, and got one. Both of us got raises. So, and it's been a constant upbuilding experience from then on. And I don't see an end. I only see it getting better and better. So things still go wrong in life, don't get me wrong, but you bounce back really quick. You develop a really tough resiliency. And it doesn't mean that you're callous. It doesn't mean you don't feel pain or you go numb. Like that was one of the during depression, sometimes you go numb, you don't feel anything. It's not like that. You still feel everything, but you're fine with it. You can handle it because you've been through worse, you know? You challenge yourself every day. So when life challenges you, it's no big deal. You're prepared. You're ready for it. So that's it. That's the last thing I'm going to say about the mental health benefit.
Wow, this is all. I mean, I will re-watch everything and again, you know, go through this. But one last thing, after listening to all the benefits or your story, I really want to know if we can do a move. Can you teach me one move?
Sure, absolutely. Do you have room to
Oh,
stand up and punch air over there?
can we like sit and do it? Is it possible?
Sitting? Well, I can teach you some of the technique that's involved. You really need to be able to stand, though.
Okay, okay, we'll do this.
Is it all right?
Yes.
Let me move the chair out of the way.
Okay.
All right. Can you see me okay?
Yes.
Let me just crank up the way. Okay. So what we start with in for most classes, we start with that foundation of boxing because it's kind of the easiest to pick up the fundamentals. So if you start with your legs slightly wider than shoulder distance apart,
Okay.
and then I want you to focus your weight on your foot. Wherever your dominant hand is, whichever hand you're right with,
Hmm.
that's going to be your back hand. So I want you to bring that up to the chin.
Okay.
Protect your chin. Right? Tuck your elbow in. And look down. Put your weight on that foot. And we're going to put our weight on the ball of that foot and rotate as we step forwards. So I want you to take one step forwards, but keep that back foot planted on the ball.
Okay.
All right? Now, the other hand can come up to the chin as well. Tuck in the elbow. And I want you to imagine a line going right down the center of the room, right between your feet.
Okay.
And if you look down at that line and you turn your front foot in so that the toe of your front foot touches that line and the heel of your back foot touches that line. So you want space between those feet.
Okay.
And you want them both to be turned at an angle. In Western boxing, we have our body at an angle. That helps make us a smaller target for our opponent. Then I want you to put a little bit of bend in the knees. All right, so now the weight should be on the balls of your feet, right? Not on the heels.
Okay.
And you're nice and balanced. How do you feel?
Nice. Jumpy. Happy.
Jumping? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to step into the number one punch. And to do that, we're going to leave that back foot planted on the ground. And we're going to take a very small step with the front foot as we extend our arm forwards, straight forwards. Boom. Yeah, now step back into that stance. Remember, keep those knees bent, tuck the elbows in, right? Good, a little bit of bend. Now step forwards and try to, when you step forwards, try to have your foot land the same time that your fist is fully extended. So we're gonna step, boom, into the jab, just like that. Yep, and then back. Step forward into the jab, and then back. And if you want, visualize a target right in front of you, like a point of contact, a ball right in front at head level. And as you extend your arm, make contact with that ball as you step forwards and then come back. Go ahead and do it. There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Now, we can refine that because there's a lot of moving parts to it. And that's what we do over the class. There's a lot of rotation involved. When we step into it, we want our shoulders to rotate so that that fist goes straight forwards into the target. And then we keep going back and forth. So that's your basic jab. How do you feel?
This was so nice, Tim.
Cool.
I
I'm
really
glad you're
enjoyed it.
enjoying it.
I think I'll watch a few more of your videos and try to learn more moves.
Sure, yeah. If you go back in our IGTV page, there's that daily training series there, and it should be there forever, unless Instagram changes their policies. But if you check out our daily training page, you can catch up. I think I already have over 100 episodes up on there. And the lessons are progressive, but we stick to one or two techniques so that anybody can come in, even if it's your first time, and learn one or two moves. And then we drill through them in a way that activates the body and, you know, like we went over before. So if you pick up on any of the episodes, you can learn traditional Muay Thai, modern Muay Thai, and Western boxing from these classes, just slowly over time through consistency, you know?
Okay, great. I'll definitely check it out. One last question for you, Tim.
Sure.
What message would you like to give our viewers?
All right, you told me about this one, and I have so much that I want to say, honestly, but let me try and focus on the most important point.
Yeah.
To anyone who's watching, if you're dealing with depression or anxiety, I just want you to know that there are a lot of different ways that you can overcome it. And there are a lot of people who have overcome it before. You're not alone. And I will be here to support you in my way for the rest of my life until depression is wiped out from the face of the planet. I will be here every single night at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with my healing modality. And I encourage you just to try as many different healing modalities as you can, because there's not one avenue for every person. There's not one thing that works for everybody. This thing has been incredibly powerful in my life. It's changed my life for the better, and it's constantly getting better day by day. but some people don't click with it. So find what clicks for you. Respect your personal journey. Go at your pace, but please try and please know that it is possible. These things are temporary things and we don't have to deal with them. We can put in the work and find ways to get out. That's my message.
Thank you so much, Tim. And thank you for joining us today. I'm really, really glad that you joined us. And that's it. We
I
come.
have one more thing. Can I add one more
Yes,
thing?
yes, yes, sure.
Okay, I just want to plug myself. Check out sacklifeofficial.com. If you'd like to support us and what we're doing, we accept donations there, and we also have the shop there where the clothing line and our products support NAMI. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to check it out, sacklifeofficial.com.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yes.
Thanks
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, Tim. Yeah.
Bye.